war on Taylor Swift. This is what Donald Trump's inner circle is vowing to wage on the pop star if she throws her support behind President Joe Biden as we inch closer to the 2024 presidential election, per TMZ. Now, back in 2020, Swift expressed her support for Joe Biden in a post online, which included customized Biden 2020 cookies. The then Democratic presidential nominee responded to the tweet, writing, "Taylor, thanks for your support and for speaking out at this crucial moment in our nation's history. Election day is right around the corner. Are you ready for it?"
Democratic strategist James Carville was asked if attacking Taylor Swift is a smart strategy while trying to earn votes from women, as conspiracies around Taylor Swift and the NFL over her relationship with tight end Travis Kelce swirl online. Take a listen.
If you're Donald Trump or part of the far right and you're having trouble with women voters, is there a worse strategy than attacking Taylor Swift?
You know, I don't think there's anything strategic about this. I think most of these people are sexually inadequate and they go for all this crazy stuff. And I don't think, and there's nothing strategic about something that stupid.
Wow. It's still the Taylor talk. Former Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney wrote on X, "Taylor Swift is a national treasure." So, okay, we talked about this yesterday, and there have actually been a number of developments in the previous 24 hours. So, to refresh the audience, some conservatives, it's actually just two people. It's Jack Posobiec, who's an online MAGA far-right type person, and Vivek Ramaswamy suggested that there's some kind of, again, the term is psyop going on, whereby there's some plot to have the relationship between Kelce and Swift is fake. It's an orchestrated plot to help elect Joe Biden because together, individually they're both compelling and popular figures. Together, they're even more popular and compelling to a whole swath of people who like pop culture and entertainment and sports. And eventually, they're going to endorse Joe Biden as she did previously, and this is going to help turn the election toward him again, which she did endorse Joe Biden last time. So for she's not a particularly, I would say, politically engaged or active for celebrities. She just endorsed him the way virtually all of Hollywood does, and then didn't go to much more elaborate steps. And she's likely to do that again. But conservatives were, again, just two people, Vivek Ramaswamy and Jack Posobiec, were making it into a bigger deal. Now, I was seeing in the last 24 hours a lot of pushback. Actually, one of these examples where there's two people saying the kind of groan-inducing things, and then 8,000 people telling them, "What are you doing?" Including the Daily Wire's Matt Walsh, who is, stridently conservative and socially conservative, saying that Taylor Swift is not in the top 100 people he was most mad at. Ross Douthat of the New York Times wrote a funny column actually about how, frankly, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are almost, in some ways, would be perceived as a conservative, not a politically conservative couple, but kind of in the way that the conservative, the trad, the cultural conservative movement is about having, the football player, the strong man, and the pretty girl fall in love, and that's a story that conservatives want to endorse in every other circumstance, and it's happening, and here they're rejecting it, and it's not a good idea.
Well, I think that's exactly why it's so triggering, because they are archetypal examples of what conservatives say that they want. They say that they want strong, robust, athletic men. They say they want, thin, blonde women, and they want heterosexual relationships. She's a country singer. He's from, I guess, the Midwest. I don't know. Is he from Kansas City, or is he just play there? I don't actually know.
She's your captain and I'm on the bleachers.
Yes, I mean.
Right. I mean, all of her songs are about
exactly this sort of thing.
the girl meeting the quarterback or whatever and falling in love.
Exactly. And so I do think that this is getting under the craw of some conservatives precisely because everything about them, all the culture signifiers, suggest that they're supposed to be conservative, and they're not. Now, the idea that this has been orchestrated is absurd when you take note of the fact that the Chiefs have been very successful in getting to the Super Bowl and winning several Super Bowls in the last 5 years or so. So the idea that, the NFL is rigging games and outcomes just to get him to this point because he's being boosted by the fame of Taylor Swift does feel like, okay, I mean, fine if it's like the longest game ever, and like, why this year and not 2-3 years ago when they were also in the Super Bowl? Like, has it never been the case? But like, I mean, the whole thing is just too silly to entertain. But I will say, Robby, I don't think that you can frame this as just like one or two conservatives who are mad about this, because I was looking at a Fox News segment with Jesse Waters where the bottom was, is Taylor Swift a Pentagon asset? I've seen, I think it's other Fox News hosts talking about, like, why is Taylor Swift everywhere? Why wouldn't you go away? Seemingly not being aware of the extent to which they are the ones that are putting her everywhere and making it so that she can't go away.
Right, and I would say that, again, she actually, like, the message of her music has a fundamental, just, again, not politically conservative, but it's just about girl meets boy, like it's not offensive to people, and so they like it. And trying to make it offensive is not a good strategy. I actually want to read from part of this Ross Douthat column because it was so good. He writes that there's a brief period in the latter part of the COVID pandemic between Glenn Youngkin being elected and Donald Trump returning, where he became convinced American liberalism was headed for truly epic defeat, with all of the COVID stuff and some of the woke hysteria. And he says he thinks liberalism is still in all kinds of trouble, but the reason it's surviving is conservatism's inability to just be normal itself, even for a minute. And I think this is a good example of that, because I remember when conservatives would always say, I mean, they still say this, and I agree with them, it's annoying that politics has to get injected into everything. Why can't we just enjoy stuff? Why can't we just enjoy sports? Why can't we just enjoy movies without being lectured to? But here, they're the ones doing that. Like, they're injecting politics into this. They're, and again, I don't know that they is that many people, but as you said, Fox talked about it.
Been talking about it.
I think it's good. It can be good. Something can be a good story for right-wing media without being helpful to the project of making conservatism and republicanism seem normal and appealing to moderate people who basically just want, to be lower taxes and to be left alone and don't think Joe Biden's great. And they got to worry about being too weird.
And I think there's a world where they might actually be pushing her into an endorsement.
Right. If Donald Trump's declared war on her, what's she going to do?
And this isn't, first of all, the implications of him doing that are not great. He has a record of having his words, rightly or wrongly, to whatever extent you want to attribute the fault to him, resulting in people being harassed. The lawsuit against the two election poll workers in Georgia that they won, they got their damage award was largely because they had to move houses and get security to save themselves from all the people who were attacking them at the direction of Trump and Giuliani. So I don't love that. But all of that aside, this is not 2020 where Joe Biden was simply a benign space holder that was running against Donald Trump. Now he has his own record, which is being shamefully marred by his behavior in Gaza in the eyes of the majority of Democrats. So to the extent that Taylor Swift might have been on the fence and might have been considering even sitting this one out, does the dynamic change when Donald Trump is saying, I'm going to wage a war against you? Does that shift you back into the camp of, okay, fine, at least not the guy who's saying that he wants to attack me personally on a national stage?
Yeah, it's an interesting choice, but we will continue to monitor the war on Swift, and we'll have more Rising right after this.